Clap it up. What's up, gang? I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I am sorry for the 5-minute delay. I hope you guys had a great weekend, though. I really do. I had to use the restroom. And, guys, I apologize because I thought the stream was set for 10 a.m., not 9:45. Therefore, I do apologize. Anyway, let's get right to it. Let's stick to the script. There is an abundance of opportunity out there, guys. And this week, I feel like instinctively, I'm excited. I'm happy. There's a little bit of low lighting because I just have the lights off. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get some other lights going here, so it may get a little bit darker when I have my charts up. So thank you for being with us. If you're new, if you are new, welcome. I'm Justin. I've been trading for close to 10 years. Actually, it's been over 10 years. It's been around 10 years, a little over. Doesn't matter. I've been through market cycles. All that fun stuff. Sorry. The point is here, there's a lot of opportunity, guys. So tonight we're going to go through charts. What we're going to do first, let's cover what we have for earnings. Because it looks like we still have a lot of earnings to come out. And again, this is all opportunity, right? Liquidity is opportunity. Good, bad, upside, downside. We're going to talk about the markets. There's some things going on right now that I want you guys to see or take notice of, that I'm taking notice of, and that's where big cap tech is, right? They're down off of their highs. We're going to get more into that. It feels like we kind of, like the whole market just made this nice run up. We're going to get into all that. Let's go over, we're going to look at some of the data. We got these earnings right here we're going to go over. First, I need you guys, for anybody that's new, if you could do us a big favor. We need a few more subscribers. We urge you, if you do that, that's going to help someone else find us, and we would appreciate that. We don't ask for much here. Hit that like button for us down below. We're not one of your scammer, you know how the markets are, guys. The markets are ugly, and I sat on the sidelines for years, and I'm like, yo, I hate this industry. It's okay to pay for trade ideas. You know, you make some money, you want to feed the guy that gave it to you. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't want you guys to have to sit through scams. The scams as far as your information and where that information goes. You don't know what hands it's going to fall in and what their motive is with your data. That's number one. Number two, the upsell after upsell after upsell after upsell. And then three, it's not as, you shouldn't have to pay for all kinds of different courses. It's just messy, man. This industry is messy. It's fucking messy, guys. So, hit that like button, please. We need a few more subscribers. If you could do that for us, we're going to help you, all right? If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Subscribing is going to help someone else find us. It'll help you know and get notified when we go live. So all you got to do is hit the like button. We come on, you come on with us, and we go over trade ideas. That's it. We're here to not only make money, but number one, we're here to save money. I'm going to turn the light on. 1 second. That might be a little bit better because I gotta do some writing. So we may forget this, but what we need to do is when we go over these charts, we need to choose. We can't just go over and think we're going to trade thousands of stocks. Your watch list shouldn't be that long. All right, you guys want to know how I go about my morning? Thank you. I did get a couple of messages this week. And I appreciate the messages too. And I'm going to get right back into like how I start my day and stuff like that. But number two, I got to get back, sometimes I veer off the road and I need to get back on it because I got to remember you guys are behind here, right? I try to tell you guys like my conviction in a trade and what are my ideas, like what is the purpose of that trade? Because you may or may not know whether it's an hour, 2 hour. So I'm going to get in, and do my damnedest to help you guys understand where my risk is. What am I looking for? Am I looking for like an hour move? Am I just here to ride this momentum? Is this a day trade, swing trade? What is my goal here with this asset? Okay, I trade options. I buy stock. I short stock. I haven't really been shorting, obviously, because the market's going higher. There's no real reason to. Credit spreads, I'll do spreads. Again, they're not when you have the markets at highs and you have the VIX at lows, it pays if you are one of those type of people, but you're not getting the most out of those options to be a seller, in my opinion. That's just how I trade. Now, that does not mean that you should have to trade, that you need to do that, right? If you're selling spreads, keep rock on with your bad self. Okay? There's not one way to make money in the markets. Two. So for me personally, I just don't think that me selling spreads right now is the best thing for me to do. Had a great day Friday. We're going to cover that, and there's a lesson that I want to get into with Friday's trades, but we're going to cover this. We're going to cover some of these earnings and what we have. We have PCE and GDP, I think. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. So if you guys could hit that like button, please. I urge you. We need a few more subscribers. So if you guys could subscribe, it would greatly it would help someone else find us, and we would be greatly appreciative of it. Let's get right into it. Let's go with the data, and let's go look at the indexes. Monday, we haven't had much data the past few weeks. It feels like things have kind of like lulled a little bit, if you know what I mean, right? Kind of like fell asleep. But that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity. There's an abundance of opportunity, I'm telling you guys. And I'm going to talk about it. Rivian, what does that mean for the automotive sector? Lucid, right? Rivian, more importantly, though, which I had something cool with Lucid. For those of you that don't know, my dad holds the land speed record for Lucid. They just got a new one in. I'm going to try and do a video of that this week. The Lucid Sapphire, I think it's called. What a stunningly beautiful car that is. And we were just talking about it in chat. From I think it was Chris, I think, that brought it up. And I'm telling, man, there's nothing like it. And I'm really hoping that Lucid can continue on this path, and that they can make it up and out of, like, whether we go through higher rates, higher for longer, and whatever we go through with the economy, and that they can make it out. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Lucid, and I'm going to do a video on that. All right, so he does plan on taking that Lucid as well and holding the land speed record for that car as well, and I'll have a video out for you guys. But anyway, let's go into the data. So, and that's just what I mean, right? Because just because there hasn't been much data, that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity, right? Between earnings, catalyst as in news, there's just an abundance, guys. And it's hard to, like, try and be at every place at one time, and you're not supposed to be at every place. Keep an eye on your handful of names that you want to watch, and stay on them, okay? Because I have that problem, right? I'm not perfect, okay? I do my best to help you guys, give you guys the best possible way to stay profitable, all right? Don't try to be everywhere at once. Watch a name, watch a few names, and let it carry out. Because usually when news hits, if it's big, it'll make the move, right? If that news is really meaningful. But second, like Boeing, right? Usually you won't get that nice momentum move until a few days after, when they know, market makers, institutions, right? In my belief, institutions make markets, okay? The big money drives this market, okay? And whether it's the indexes and specific names, okay? So, understanding, like, if it doesn't make that move, then wait a little bit, right? Because we got short Boeing. And what was the catalyst? The catalyst was actually Tesla. Everyone left and stopped talking about Boeing, this, that, the third. Everyone went over to Tesla on their earnings, and guess what? Bank of America gave us that gift for the downgrade, and that's what gave us that, what was it, 212, 209, 212, 213 area, because we kept seeing it reject that 200-day with Boeing, and then you got that move down into the low 200s. Really solid trade, guys. So, yes, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Again, just hit that subscribe button. It helps others find us. We need a few more subscribers, and that's all we ask. So, you have new home sale, or what is that? Yeah, new home sales. Gonna want to just see what that is. Let's just see where the real estate markets are. We know that, commercial real estate's kind of had its, it's been a little tough in that industry, right? And a lot of people don't know, when you get some of these recessions, it's like, it affects certain sectors more than it does the other, right? What they call a rolling recession. You have some bond yields, or some bond auctions as usual. So you can watch out for that if you'd like. Keep your eyes on them. Just see where they are. And, if just looking at them, right? Looking at them every week or so, whenever, these auctions are, you're going to have a mindset of where they are. Durable goods orders, we're going to see that. They're looking for -4. So you're going to want to watch that. If you get a number that's well below that, that's going to bring some volatility in the markets, I promise. Well, I can't do that because my man will be from the SEC Gary Gensler will be knocking at the door. You can't be making no promises, my guy. Sorry, Gary B. Anyway, Richmond Fed Manufacturing, Fed Bar. You do have a lot of Fed members this week. Now, why are we looking at the data real quick? Because we need to get a gauge on what day things happen. That way you could coincide your trading, right? If we're down on like a low, right, and you have like a gap, right, and you're like, okay, 2 days to get that gap. It's Monday. We're going to give it like 2 days to get to that gap. Bang, Wednesday comes. Chances are that resistance in that gap on Wednesday, you have GDP. So it's like, that's why it's important. And that's what I use the data for, right? Not only to give me direction or like volatility and knowing what's going on for the sentiment, but lining up the trades for the day that these data sets come out. I think a lot of people don't get told that. Right, understanding. Okay, maybe we'll have like a little slow grind up. Maybe we'll pull back. Right, you get like a 2-day low volatility day in the indexes, and a lot of people are watching Carvana and all these other names. And then the indexes start to move on those days. Right, they got to either that support or they got to that resistance by, let's just say, Wednesday. Right, Monday and Tuesday we pull back a little bit more, or we bounce up a little bit higher. But that is why, that's if you haven't tried to do that, start trying to do that. Use your RSI, MACD, whatever the things is that you use, and line it up, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and kind of see, okay, we're starting to go up towards the highs, all right? And today's Wednesday. Oh, shoot, we have this data set. Chances are it's either going to be resistance or we're going to get a small breakout. Just an example. Crude oil data, 17. Again, a lot of Fed members. Okay, and we're on Wednesday, by the way. I know I'm cruising through this because I want to get right into charts, guys. So, and again, remember, 90% of the S&P does business overseas. So it is important to see what's happening overseas, okay? And I think it's like 75, 80% of the business is overseas. So understanding Japan, if they're in a recession, China, Germany, Europe, right? All those other countries, Australia, Africa, it's... So France inflation data, you've pretty much gotten the inflation data throughout the country. So unless you get like a big surprise, it's hard to see that the market would be, you'd get some volatility, all that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who am I to say? All right. I'm sure there's a trade there with futures. So you have more inflation data, GDP, again, personal income, personal spending, big data points right here, all pointing lower, right? For the past year and a half, you've had contraction, right? When does it start to catch up? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We've heard a lot about layoffs and stuff like that from just company after company after company. There's kind of had some silence there. And if you remember here, you've heard me say it's going to take some months, right? They'll start with drug tests, then they'll do the raise your hand if you want, a leave of absence, blah, 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 blah. And that stuff takes time, okay? And then, Rivian, I was already talking about the automotive industry and what we're coming into. And, they had said, I think it was like 10% that they're laying off. PCE, guys, huge data set. So we're going to look for, Wednesday, really Thursday. Was it Tuesday GDP, did I say? Durable goods on Tuesday. Durable goods, balance of trade for Mexico, S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. So, dude, it's going to be a pretty volatile week, guys. So make sure you got your hard hat on. Okay, make sure you got your hard hat on. GDP Wednesday, durable goods Tuesday, GDP Wednesday, Thursday, PCE. Okay, this is what the Fed uses for inflation data. All right, they say they don't care about CPI and PPI, but they definitely look at it. So there's that. And again, you still have Fed members, but we know the deal. I don't give a shit what they say. Unless they say something crazy, we know the Fed members' stance. We know that we want to see more data. We want to give it more time. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So that's that. And Friday, at least for us, ISM manufacturing. So pretty much every day you have some serious data set here. You know, you have more inflation data for Europe. So I get no, it was GDP. That's right. Or some odd weeks have went by, and I just haven't realized it. All right, so earnings. We went there. We'll touch into earnings when we need some names here. But no, tomorrow morning, right? Li Auto. Write that down if you want. Li Auto. There's going to be a trade there, and I was just talking about automotive. Okay, and we should start to get. I don't know if Ford in them, or maybe they did go. But either way, Li Auto. In the morning, Domino's. Domino's always has a pretty nice move. But after hours, Unity, Zoom, Workday, One Oak. Okay. Let me see if... No, I don't want to do that. Man, so this is awesome, right? There's still a ton. AutoZone. Don't forget. Remember, AutoZone has had some rough... had some rough quarters there, right? They dropped a lot. If you don't know, we'll look into that in a little bit. American Tower Communications. Let's see here. What else? What is it? Jones Lang and Associates or whatever it's called. This real estate company here. eBay, Kava, Vizio, Tuesday afternoon. Bumble, Devon Energy, First Solar. So look, we're going to be able to look at the solar names, and I'm going to do more work on this tomorrow when we get into like noon. Like if depending on what happens and plays out tomorrow, if I'm not in a trade and watching something or whatever, I'm sure I will be, but I'm gonna work on this list here for earnings and the ones that I really want to see, because understanding that AutoZone has just gotten demolished, right, off the past few quarters. They haven't done so hot. What's to come? Do they improve? Is there a trade to the long side, right? So AutoZone's on my watch. Li Auto with Rivian and Lucid not doing so hot. Not so great, whatever you want to call it. Unity, Zoom. All right, so, and I went over eBay, Kava, Vizio. We went over that, right? Bumble, First Solar. I do want to look at the solar names. I've been keeping my eye on them. Baidu. Remember, Baidu came out with that AI news. Okay, Baidu is it Baidu? Baidu, can you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, please? Is Baidu the Google for China? If I'm wrong, let me know. If I'm right, let me know. Anyway, Advanced Auto Parts, you'll have AutoZone, so how does Advanced Auto Parts coincide with their earnings? All right. And then, let's just say AutoZone does bad. Does Advanced Auto pull back? But then they report pretty good, and they have some upside surprise, and AutoZone does not participate. TJ Maxx, or TJX, whatever you want to call it. I call it TJ Maxx. AMC, Wednesday after the close. Marathon, Snowflake, Salesforce. Listen, I say it every quarter. I love trading CRM Salesforce. It usually will set up it'll set up some really good, like, I'm not going to say low volatility, but in my opinion, mild volatility. But the patterns that it's been able to put in, I've been really profitable. I'm just going to say it for myself. I've been really profitable off of CRM when they report the day after, okay? All right, C3 AI. And again, if you're going to be trading, make sure you know if that company has earnings or not too, because you might be paying a higher premium and then wake up, oh shit, or later in the afternoon or something, oh wait, they reported earnings. Oh crap, that's why the options were so high. Paramount, there was some news with Disney. We had some downside. Guys, this is what you got to do. So if you don't know, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we trade live Monday through Friday right here. I'm trying to hurry up and get through this because I want to get right into the charts. We trade live Monday through Friday right here, 7:30 to 4. We're going to be on bright and early tomorrow morning. I know it's a little late right now, so I do apologize. And again, we need a few more subscribers, so if you could help us out with that, that'd be great. Thank you guys so much. Okta. All right, Pure Storage, Duolingo, HPQ. What is that? Not Helmerich and Payne. Hewlett Packard is the name. All right, AbbVie. Okay, AbbVie, Best Buy. What is that? AB and Bev, Bud. Anheuser-Busch. Did they change their... Yeah, they did. That's Anheuser-Busch. They changed their... Or was that always their logo? Am I like going crazy or something? TD Bank. It's gonna... I want to see TD Bank. All right. Hormel Energy. Let's see here. What else do we have? Golf. In the afternoon on Thursday, Dell, SoundHound, Viva, NetApp, okay, NTAB, CubeSmart, COO, and then Fubo. I think Fubo had something. There was some news with Fubo, guys, a week ago or a couple weeks ago. I can't remember. I know that I thought it might have been Vizio. No, it wasn't Vizio. I know Vizio though. Vizio was getting bought out by Walmart, so it's going to be. I want to see what these earnings say. And what happens with the stock. Keep an eye on Vizio, guys. If you don't know, I'm pretty sure Walmart bought Vizio out. That news came out, maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Maybe time flies so fast. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago. All right, so that's that. There's your earnings. Just make sure you guys know that there. Listen, this is all opportunity. All right, so you have volatility in the indexes, you have earnings, and then you'll have news that you just randomly wake up to. Oh, first trade idea. Don't let me forget. Morgan Stanley. Let's check in on futures, guys. I don't have Bloomberg on right now. Give me 1 second. Bloomberg. All right, and again, I appreciate you guys. If you could, I know you can, hit the like button. Subscribe. All right. We have a good time in chat. We're here to make money. We're here to talk about business, but we're also like to talk about things like music. If any of you guys listen to rap music, did you guys hear J. Cole's new song that was released? Pretty badass. I enjoyed it. I think Quavo also, or not Quavo, right? From Migos. And who else? There was someone else. I think Lil Durk also posted up another video, but we can get all that another time. But J. Cole's new song is he's on something. So you'll have some new jams coming out for the summertime. But anyway, so the SPY. I took a trade on the SPY. Really nice trade. I don't know. I think it was like 65 to 75%, if not close to 80. All right, so we went short the indexes. All right. Now, trading sometimes can be boring, and if you're making money and it's boring, you got to stay with it. I'm thinking to myself, I might be trading the indexes this week. All right. Now, let me tell you guys why I took a trade on the SPY, because that was the lesson I wanted to get into. So futures are pulling back, and we're starting to try and make Friday's low resistance right now. Okay. Let's see what happens by tomorrow's close if we take back everything we did Thursday. Do you guys remember what happened Wednesday and Thursday of last week? Right now would be the time for elevator music. Look at the volume that came in there. So, I had went short Friday. Really nice trade on Friday, guys. All right. Now, I was showing you here on this picture. This is a 5-minute chart. That I was saying that the market was like, this axe was not there. I'll remove it another day. But anyway, this trade here, okay? Now, if we go to Friday, right? When you have these type of trades, like what I focused on and the reason I took this trade was because of Friday's price action, okay? Your high was put in here at 508.50. So, towards, where did we get short? We got short up here at 510. On that resistance of 510, pretty much on that breakout. What I need to do is, because I think I was trading on a 2-minute at the time. So if you join us during the day, you're going to see this here, right? Because I like to see 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute. Let me let my cat out. I can't get a break. I'm sorry. I hate to do this in the freaking middle of a live stream. Anyway, Tuesday we got short off of this resistance right up here, guys. Okay, we started to put in not just a lower high, but take notice of where we were trying to hold, right? You were trying to stay above. Wait, this is so weird. Because we got short, we were watching right here, like right there. We were trying to hold VWAP right here. This is a 2-minute chart. That pink line is VWAP. we were trying to hold VWAP and we could not we got that extension. You can see right here. It opened, it pulled back, or it ran and then pulled back. Held VWAP, pulled back, it regained it, and then look at that candle there. We got short off of VWAP. All right, which was, you know, the mornings, because you were stuck here, right? You have the pre-market highs at 509.50, and then the support level that you put in, right? Trying to grind higher at it's like 410, right? 509.60 on the SPY. So I took that short in the morning. You know, everyone in chat that was with us was able to get that. They had enough time. And I was telling you guys exactly what I wanted to see, right? I wanted to see us start to just like get back into this range. Like, where are we going to hold 508.50? Where are we going to hold it? Okay. And once we didn't, I put in a box here, right? This was the area I was watching. 507 to Friday's high, okay, at 508.50. So you can't discount, you know, the prior day's price action and things like that. So once we got in here, I kind of wanted to see, all right, you know, we're about 2 standard deviations below VWAP. I didn't make any other trade after this downside trade here. It was a really nice trade in my book. You know, catching $1.50 was a nice trade on the S&Ps. When premiums are low like they are, it's really nice to get those type of trades, right? You got the follow through extension, and you pulled right into that, you know, right where that area where the SPY put in the support level, you know, Thursday's highs. Okay, I'm saying Friday, but Thursday's highs. All right, so I was like, okay, so what I wanted to see was, do we start to close red? And I said that. Do we close red? Because if we close red, and I'm at 509, 50, you know, 50, what is it, like, I don't know, 509.50, right? In between that 509 to 509.50. If I'm thinking we're going red, and I'm like, hey, we got $1.50 here, and I'm going to pay 40 cents a contract, chances are I'm not too far off from getting a 100% trade, if not more, if we can do it in a timely manner. And once we started to make the morning lows, like it was a really solid trade. I'd have to go back. Everything is recorded live. Everything about it made sense. So sorry for that. I should have been a little bit more prepared. But, you know, the trade was just pretty simple, right? It was, hey, let's end this week off strong so we can take it into the week. All right, we're not making any progress. Let's look to see if we push into Thursday's highs, and if we can break Thursday's highs, because you have this box here, right? You have the high, you have the low, right, on the top end, right? So tomorrow, which we're doing, what are we doing right now? You're trying to hold that 507, right? You're trying to hold that 507 as support. So if I was trading futures right now, I would say, hey, let's look to see if we could take a long and test either Friday's and try to test Friday's close. Right? Let's try to get up to like 507.75, 508. Now in futures, all right, for futures, sorry, it was acting a little slow. That's what I would want to be looking for, okay, is how, see, it's already, it hasn't, see, it's actually making that, what I would call, like, if I were to draw a box here, you know what, that box would still be about the same. It would be 509 to 510.40, right? You can see it's trying to make this support zone here. It's an area. It's just like a pivot high, right? Support, support, support. So this area on futures at 509, at 5,009 D, right? It's trying to make it resistance. Now, what I would be doing right now is seeing if it's continuously holding here. Chances are it's going to break and try to, you know, retest this initial high here, you know. But anyway, that's what we traded Friday. That was Friday's trade. It was a beautiful trade. You could have been on it with us. You could have gotten over 100% on that trade, depending on when you got in, when you got out. It was a beautiful trade. It gave you the follow through. It was a solid trade in my book. All right, keep it simple. All right, let's go right into it, guys. Apple. All right, let's go over the indexes. I'm sorry. And what do we think? Okay, let's go to a daily chart. You guys know we're well above the 50-day. All right, we have a whole lot of gaps down here. All right, now this blue box you see here, that is Fed day. This blue box here I don't want to move it because I also think that that might be. I got to start using a different color for them. Sorry, I know that this stream's falling off right now at the moment, but it's supposed to be for the 100-day moving average. No, I took it off because we're not even floating with it. So turquoise is 200, blue is 150, is red, 20-day is green, 9 EMA is yellow. All right, you should, if you're, new to the markets, that's your moving average, which calculates the closes of 50 days, 20 days, 100 days, 200 days, and it gives you that price, whatever number you want to put in. If you use a 5-day moving average, it's going to calculate the average price of a 5 days close. Alrighty, so we closed red on the day, but we closed green if you're going to count prior day's close on Thursday, from Thursday. All right, so about flat, just above flat. You were still positive. All right, nice weekly candle put in. We're coming into the end of the month. Look at that chart. Look at those weekly candles, guys, in the S&Ps. The S&Ps has been our leader here. All right, the S&Ps have been our leader, man. That's so nuts. Look at just consistent. Nice cup and handle, reverse head and shoulders. All right, there's just a lot that I could go into here, and I'm not really going to. It's just playing the part, right? Right off COVID lows. My target's 520. So I'm still waiting to see. Let's see if we take this to like 530. Let's see. That would take us. I wonder if that's where we're headed. I do. I wonder if we're heading to 533. My target was 530. I don't want to get off track here. All right. So remember, we're going to be putting in a monthly candle close. So seasonally, February is a bit weak. All right. It's going to take a lot. Like I feel like we're going to end the month green, obviously, because we got it would be 4 trading days. You would need something pretty serious, I think, to close this stuff red. So I think February is going to be a green week, or a green month. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's 24 points. All right. Yeah. Well, it's 5%. So, you make a 5% move in 4 days. Something's definitely going on. All right. So let's go to a 30-minute chart here on the S&Ps. So what I'm going to be watching for on the SPY is, can we reject Friday's, like this pivot high up here? Okay, that pivot high here on the S&Ps at 507. I want to see if we can start to reject 507. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get rid of this stuff here. That's, I kind of want to get rid of this, but I kind of don't. All right. Even if you were to get to this area there, right? So I'm going to draw this. We're going to make that a 2 because that was Thursday's pivot high. And look, this was somewhat of a measured move there. All right. I think it's all, like right now you can see here on a 30-minute chart, even if we go to a 15, you're going to see that it's trying to hold that pivot low from Thursday. All right, so it's going to take a data set. I think we're going to need to see what does some of this data tell us, GDP, PCE, and where are we when that data comes out? So are we sitting up near highs? Do we get our pullback to 505? Right? If I'm going to be long, I need a pullback to 505 again to really try to solidify it. All right? This is my range though. Right now, we're going to talk about what's going on, and there's your range. That's your range. That's a fact. All right? That's a fact. Now, if this breaks, what am I going to do? I'm going to look for the next location that gives me, the price action. And where's that going to be? 506, 505, 75 area. But that also would give me this area right there. All right. Now, are we going to start this in my book would be walking it down, right? So if you have one area here, you have one area right here if you fall into, and then you have another area right there. And then if you break above here, then obviously your next area would be there. So you can trade the ranges, guys. Right? If you start to run a test here, chances are this has held, 507 is held, if we try to test 508.50 and we are able to get through it, then obviously we're going to look for 510 to see if we can test that high and possibly try to like nudge above it, right? Or if you break 508.50, then obviously you have to watch 509. Okay, 509 is your, it's like it seems like it's just like every dollar. See, this is weird because, you know, you have these tails here. What I'm looking at is this right here, right? You have this pivot low right on the morning on Friday. You have this like double top. All right. So, you know, me personally, I would have to do something like that. Nope. I'm going to keep it a 1. Keep it a buck. All right. Because to me, that's a mild level. All right. So, game plan on the SPY, and we'll do it with the Qs. All right. As we go through these trade ideas, I know I've been going really long here, and I do apologize. I know I did not mean for the... I got to get better at these streams, guys. So I apologize. Again, I'm new at doing this. So we've been on 42 minutes already. Dude, you got to be kidding me. Oh, no. All right. I want to see if we can start to make Thursday's high resistance, okay? Because that, I feel, is going to give us the best trade. Thursday's high on the SPY, whether it's the Qs. All right, we're going to get through the indexes and look. All right. And that's going to be 508.50. So if we think, all right, we did bring in some sellers at 508.50. All right. Then I would say to myself, what stocks are also looking like they're coming up into resistance, right? And if the market, the SPY, for instance, does start to reject 509, okay? 509, 508.50. If we start to reject that, what stocks are up at resistance that I think I could get short if we pull back? And what sector, right? Is it Dow names? Is it tech names? Which is it? All right, so you're seeing the Qs here. They started to pick back up the lead last week towards the end of the week. The Qs, I'm going to be watching 437. 437. Right now, we're not above it, though. We're not above 436. All right, but I still think we can get up to at least 437. I do. I don't see why we would have an issue getting up to 437 if not testing highs. All right, this thing's been it made a massive rally, but it feels like it's a bit overdone. All right, I got to clean these charts up, y'all. All right. So you have a nice pullback here. Try to hold this level and climb higher, right? This is a 4-hour chart. You know, see if 435 you can get some support to step in there on the Qs. Again, we'll go over this in the morning. If you could, hit that like button, subscribe. My streams are a little bit better than this. You know, I kind of... it's taking me a little bit longer than I wanted to. I need to start just getting right into it. Tell a friend about us. That would be awesome. But again, we're looking to... we need a few more subscribers. So we appreciate you guys doing that. And what it does is it would help someone else find us and be able to trade with us that doesn't, you know, necessarily whether they don't have the money that they feel it's justifiable to spend with someone else to just trade and get trade ideas. They can come join us because we trade live Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. And I've been doing this over 10 years now. All right. We have a good time in chat and all that fun stuff. So that is the Qs, right? You got to get above. Really, like, you want to see where am I, like, we've already started to walk it up. So what's an area that we think could become support? All right. If has it walked up every level? Nope. You got a huge gap up, guys. We got a huge gap up from last week. A huge gap. Chances are we take it back, but what's that catalyst going to be? PCE, GDP? Which is it? Are we going to get a crazy initial jobless claims? Could we get a crazy initial jobless claims number where the number just skyrockets to like 255, 260? And oh my God, a recession. Higher for longer was too much. The Fed should have slowed down. Like, you'll start getting a recession fear. So, in my eyes, again, you want to see, where are we right now? Where are we trading? All right, let's get right into it because I've already went too long now. All right, so we are trying to make 436 resistance. We're trying. So to me, it's going to be up to 436. All right, 436. Let's see where we open up. Are we above or below 436? Okay, write this down. If you'd like. Again, this is not financial advice. This is not trade advice. I'm just telling you what I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to do, and you can see the volume starting to come in here up at these highs. Look at these sell volumes here on the Qs, trying to come in and take profits at the highs. Buy low, sell high. If we are above 436, it'll depend on where we are, okay? It'll depend exactly where we are. 436, if we're above it, let's say, because it's already made it support. You made it support Friday in the morning at 11 o'clock. You made it support back here, okay? It broke. You made it support, but then it broke, so I guess you could technically roll that out as support. It made it support Friday on low volume, okay? You put in a little bit of a double bottom there. Really, I would just call this your support. So it's telling me that there's weakness here, and what's funny is my ideas are matching up to the short side. My ideas are, a lot of them are to the short side. All right, so if we're above 436, I would like to see a push into 438 to see if we can test this pivot high here, right? At like 438, 430, it's like 438.06, okay? 438.08. All right, I'll tell you exactly the number, okay? But it's not going to be to the penny when you have these markets, because you'll have orders that'll be sitting there, right? And it'll just go up, fill them, and then it'll either drop or it'll continue. All right. That's what I'd be watching for. 437.99. Okay. Your resistance level. So you solidified this Friday as resistance, but you did not test 439. So give me 439. Final answer, 439. I want to see what we do if we get back up there. All right, 439 is going to be my level. I think it's safe to say 439 is the level we need to keep our eyes on, you know, to see if we could, if that's going to be our next resistance. Let me just delete that. It's not letting me delete it. Remove drawing. All right. 439. Bang. All right, 439. And you could, listen, when you guys are in these trades or looking at the indexes, you know, look at your percentages. Remember your ATRs. Because if you pull back a dollar or two and you start getting some upside and it kind of just makes a big move without you, and the stock usually, you know, puts in like a high to low, like $6 from high to low or low to high, and it's went $2.50, $3, chances are you got another $1.50, $2, if not $3 there, depending on the volatility. Just keep those things in mind, okay? Depending on what sector you're in, if that sector is hot or not, all right? So 436, if 436 holds, let's see if we push into 439. That's a 3-point move. If we're below 436, I want to see if we, during the day, can solidify 436 as resistance. And if we do, I would most certainly look to see if we can break 434. If we break 434, we don't have much at all stopping us, in my opinion. There's a lot of consolidation here. So, you know, you're going to have your bounce backs, but 432.50. 432 to 432.50 would be the area I would look at to see if we could get a bounce. Okay. Now what I'm going to do for you here, because you have this pivot high. All right, so that's obviously going to be a support zone. Let's say if we drop into it, but what I'm saying is if we're into it, right, we're below 436, see if you get a bounce off of 435, depending on where we open up and depending on what they do early in the morning. Look for 436 to be resistance off of 435, wherever it opens up. Resistance, maybe we go in and test like 436.80, right? Friday's close, and we just can't like make anything support, right? Like you try to make 436.68 support, it's like 436.72. You try to make that support and you just can't, and it pulls back. You're going to have mild support at 435, and then it should hopefully give way, all right, to 430. Who's that? 432. All right, 432. 432 to 432.50. Now I'm going to draw you the box that I'm looking for. I got to put this up, unfortunately, because it'll mess up my other charts. Now we're going into stocks. So if you guys want, I know Bingo, I hope you had a great weekend. The Q's awesome. Ziggy, what's up, buddy? Guys, I apologize that I took too long on this. I really do. I'm sorry. I'm going to just say it right now. All right, I'm going to just say it right now. I'm telling you guys, though, we're going to have a great week. I think the market can try to grind a little higher early in the week, and then I want to see if we can get a pullback later on. GDP, PCE, and see if that starts to bring us down. Unless retail sales and all that other stuff, new home sales and all this other random stuff really starts to bring us down, my book's going to be like more so the downside end of the week. All right, so 432.50 to 432 flat. That's going to be the area I want to see us try to bounce off of. Again, you know, you've had... So you have like this is pretty much a V to me. We put in another V bottom. And look what happened with the last V, right? You came down, you completely retraced it, and then bang, it just did not hold. We're doing it again. Does it hold? No. Bang. Do we see 426 this week? I'm curious. All right, property. So I'm going to put it for now as a buy signal, okay? For a few reasons. All right, for a few reasons. Go to the daily chart. All right, we have a few gaps here. I have so many lines. I'm sorry. These are going to be all cleaned up tomorrow. All right, because you can't even read it. That's your 90 MA going to be coming up. Where's the 20-day going to be at? So this area, really, I would like to see 430. 430 would be a really nice support level, but it may take a couple days. What I'm thinking is, do we start to just like kind of like figure out what we're going to do? Like you put in like an inside-out day. Right, maybe you put in like a tail, okay? Maybe put in like a tail there, right? And maybe you, maybe you try to break out, and you put in this like tail here, even though that's, and then I want to see if we can like get this, okay? I want to see if we can get this. Or maybe it happens earlier in the week and towards the end we start to bounce. But I want to see if we could do that. I know that that's 4 days. I just think Monday and Tuesday, because we don't have much to move us unless there's a surprise in news. All right, but we are below this level, so that's telling you already they're trying to either get ahead of PCE or something. So it's a good sign to just remember where are we and where is the next area. I tried to describe a little bit about Friday's trade. Friday's trade is what made me green because I was analyzing where we were at the SPY in conjunction with, that previous price action. Okay, 15-minute chart. If we go here, right, we're underneath. Obviously, if we spend enough time here in this area, which I think it'll break above because it's still in an uptrend. You're putting in higher lows, higher highs. Okay, what I would say is the area that it's going to look to play with would be right here for now. So let's see if we wake up in this box tomorrow. All right, let's see if we wake up in that box tomorrow in between 435.50, 436.50. Again, I don't know what's going on around the world. So worst case, okay, it could be here. Okay, but I don't think there's any crazy news. I don't think. So for now, that's the area I'm looking for to open up in. Let's see if that happens. If for some reason you end up breaking out, okay, where's the next area? Obviously, to me, the next area is going to be up here. Right up there. That'll be the next area. So let's see if we can try to get back up there. Break 436, hold 436 as support, and you just start climbing higher. Right? You start reclaiming 437, bang, make it support. You get a mild pullback off 437.50. Pulls back, holds 437, bang, right? Something like this, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then you get like this nice little lift, and then it pulls back and holds this area, and then we start testing that area. Let's see if we can try to see if we just consolidate between 436 and 439. It's a $3 area. Scalp it, swing it, don't trade it, whatever you feel like doing, right? Let's go into charts. So I'm sorry about that. The reason I bring these up, though, is because you have to see where the indexes are in conjunction with where your stock is at. If the indexes are at resistance or coming up on resistance, chances are if your stock's coming up to resistance and the spot, if they start to break out higher, chances are you would look for your stock to break out higher. Stuff like that. So let's real quick. The IWM has actually been lacking. It's been lacking. All right. The stocks, right? I was just telling you about the V bottom. Look at that V. Bang, bang. And then we have another one, and it never recovered. So IWM, I'm going to look for that area again to be resistance. All right. That area is 199.75 to 200. Call it 200 area. Okay. 200 on IWM. If you're above it, look to be a buyer. I'm going to look to be a buyer at 200 and try to fill the gap. Okay. Look for the gap fill. I have to look at this stock. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it. I mean, I have, but I haven't. Look at this flag you're putting in here, guys. Doesn't this look like a flag here? It's not pretty. You have this trend line here, but not really. I don't know. What I was going to say is, like, if I were to pull this back a little bit for us, all right, you can see maybe, just maybe, are you trying to put in a bull flag? And it all meets where? It meets right at the 50-day. So this is how I come up with not only my oh, so I already did that. Okay. And then it came down. So that line meant nothing. Let's just use it for this. Right? And they are all meeting up right there. So that's what I would look for in the IWM. Let's see if that plays out. All right? Let's see if that plays out. But more importantly, if you're looking at, these type of names, it did get above that previous resistance. It like closed right at it at 200. So you have resistance at 201. If we hold 200, do we take a shot to 201 and break it and try to close the gap? Like close it, where you close up there. Right now we gotta look at this as resistance. All right, you got a bear flag going on here, and I'll show you on 1 hour. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. I kind of was doing a live stream to hang out and talk markets and stuff. So if you guys are new, welcome. Again, for anybody that's just joining us, if you could subscribe, if you haven't already done so. We need a few more subscribers. It's going to help a couple people. It'll help people find us. Okay. There's a lot of people that want to find a group to trade with, and they don't know where to go to. All right. So with your help, we could find them. All right. And we're here to feed each other. All right. We're here to, take advantage of a lot of the opportunity. Again, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been through a lot of market cycles. If I would not come on here just because I like to trade and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm going to come out here and embarrass myself. All right. I wouldn't do that to myself. More importantly, I wouldn't do that to you. And again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas on things like how I was able to take, nearly 100% profit on Friday. You guys could have been there with us. So, understanding the sentiment, understanding how to read the data, what does that mean? How to understanding these earnings, listening to earnings calls, and understanding the market as a whole. Because I'm going to get right into it, right? There's a lot that I'm going to get into right now. So that's the IWM. 200's your guy, okay? Above it, you had a quick rejection. Look here, right? Here's an hourly chart. Let's go to a 30-minute. So IWM, you quickly rejected. You got above it. All right. You got above it and you tried to make 200 support and you really couldn't. You couldn't hold 200. See how it got above it? Right here. Bang. Right. It goes up and then just quickly, boop, rejects it on what? In my opinion, even though it was the last few minutes of the market, it's on higher volume. Look at the volume the prior day. They're letting it. These are the little signs. And look up there. Look what you have waiting up there. Right, up at that 205, 202, 203, 204. All right, 205 to 203. All right. So that's IWM. You bounced above 200 and you quickly got rejected. So if you do get above again, I would watch 254. $200.54 to see if that will be resistance, even though it looks like it kind of already made it. So the area I'm looking for in the IWM is that little support at 199 and really that area right there. All right, because it's going to let you know at 200 is there going to be support and then turn 250 into support, chances are if that happens, you're going to break that high. All right, you would come up, it would break it. If it broke it and it held and solidified 250 as support now, okay, we have nothing stopping us over here. You have all these tails. Chances are if you made that support, you didn't do it Friday, but you do it Monday or Tuesday, this high is going to get broken. And then you look to get that pullback right at Friday's high at 201, and you have nothing stopping you up to 203, 203.50 area, because that right there is where your resistance is at. Now, the same thing for the downside. The downside is going to be 199. You break through 199, then you test Friday's lows, right, at 209 area, then you come down to 198. Okay, are we going to hold 198? This is a nice support level. Look at the volume you had back here. Okay, 198 support. So where are we looking to go to? Where's our next area? We know 198 support. Where are we going? Where are we going? 200. 2-point move, 200. Then you decide 200. Do you break it and hold it and continue higher? Or, chances are, if you make 198 support and you still can't get through Friday's open or pivot low, this 199 area, then it's like, okay, we tried. We tried to put our foot in the ground and go higher. Chances are it pulls back down and goes lower. You got to understand what it is exactly you're playing. What's going on here? All right. Are we putting our foot in the ground to move higher and we start to do it, but then there's just too much ahead, above us? Is there too much selling pressure above us? Or is there not enough buying? And it's, it's same for the downside. Is there just, too much selling pressure, or is there enough buying pressure that helps hold us, right, for more, even if it's more time, right, to just take time off the clock, and then either shorts get nervous or longs get nervous, one of them cuts and we start to see a nice move. So sorry about that. And again, I'm sorry, NBSE, sure. There was one actual penny stock, OCEA, guys. I talked about this Friday, I think. All right, I'm going to get into that. NASCAR, it's good to see it, but I want to stay on the indexes because I want to show you guys something with big cap tech and the index and what I think's going on here. I am watching OCEA. I will get into that, guys, but for NASCAR, it's good to see you, NASCAR. I hope everything's well with you, man. How was your weekend? NBSE. All right, NBSE. Nice after hours. Not sure what's going on here, if there was any news or not. 99 support. Pretty solid selling there. I would see where you open. I'd see where you open on NBSE. All right, you're getting a lot of names to start to short squeeze. The one thing I would say with this, all right, is that you did solidify that 100-day as support. That's a good sign. You broke above the 50-day. Look how you broke above the 50-day here, right? You got above it, quick tail, but it held, right? You closed, it gapped up. Oh, hey, you gapped up above it. It pulls into the 50-day, this red line, right? And then it climbs. It's like, okay, we just solidified the 50-day moving average. I know it's hard to see, guys. So if you look at it like this, bang, it pulled, like you put in that tail, but it got bought back up and you held. You closed literally above or at the 50-day moving average at 69 cents. And look what happened the next day. That was a sign that anybody was short. Get out, get out, get out. Manage risk. We got to get out. They held the 50-day. Because what comes after that? We're going to start to hold the 100-day. Now we got to look for the 100-day. We got to get out. We're short. We got to manage risk. All right. So I would watch. Man, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because we're starting to see some of these names break out. And look what the stock's done in the past. You get these nice breakouts. All right. You get these nice breakouts, and you can start to see, right, there's your low. But you can start to see right there at, back in January or early February, you start to hold and you put in that triple double bottom. Really, I'll just say a double bottom, bang. And then it's like, okay, then there's your, look at it ride the 20-day moving average. I think the 20-day moving average is what you would watch here. Look at that, just cradling that 20-day moving average. You get a bounce through the 100-day, and then what happens? That 20-day and 100-day meet up. Bang, right there. That's a buy trigger for me. Okay? Not saying that I'm buying this or playing it. I'm just saying if I'm looking at this as a trader, I'm saying, hey, Somebody's going to have to manage risk if you're short. I don't know the short float, but if I go to look at it and it's a decent amount, hey, watch out. Because guess what? You have nothing stopping you to get to the 200 day. Like literally. You come up, you have that level there at $1.95, which is over 100% gain. Over 100% gain. All right. The levels I would watch for this would be as follows. Man, look at the support level that is put in here, NASCAR. Wow. Exactly. Pump. Look at that. Look at 60 cents. Huge level of support. Huge level of support. All right. Huge level of support. All right. And then, okay, how do we play this? All right, so we got a little bit of resistance right here. All right, we know we got this pivot low, pivot high. There's your resistance level at 80 cents. So I'm going to watch 80 cents. We break 80 cents, it's on. I'm telling you right now, it's on. If this thing breaks 80 cents, then I'm going to look for $1.19. But I'm not worried about $1.19. I know if 80 cents breaks and holds, hello, 200-day moving average, $1.40. All right, and if you break that, you know your real level, it's gonna be up here at $1.80. You can start to have a nice move. I think I've seen people talk about this. All right, you have a little bit of resistance up here at $2. So 80 cents. 80 cents would be the level. Can you do me a solid? You know what? I'll write this down right now. Because I do want to watch this tomorrow. You said HSBC, right? OCEA. Yeah, that's the one I was kind of watching Friday. I traded the SPY, nearly 100% trade, so I was like, eh. And yes, so Ziggy, I did the Qs. OCEA was interesting. Someone on Discord was saying they would pump money into it at 8:30. It's been when they started running. Yeah. And you know what's funny, guys? I was thinking about starting a Discord because I like there's so much that I want to do that YouTube doesn't allow me to do. Like so much. You guys have no idea. Right? And it's beneficial just not only to make money, but like there's a lot of things that I can do. Like like earnings call, like there's just not even just that, there's just a lot. And it's hard to get into it because it's like there's just so much stuff with YouTube. It's kind of like it's a bummer that it's that way, right? I'm not using anybody else's work, but it's like I can't even listen to music, really, right? I can't even hardly listen to music or like, you know, do some fun stuff. Got to watch what I say, right? Stuff like that. So, that's NBSE. That's right, NBSE. OCEA and NBSE. That's actually that's a nice setup. I appreciate you, bro. That's a really, really nice chart setup there on that one. All right, so real quick, the Dow still at highs, closed red. All right, the Dow has been our leader. The Qs are starting to catch up. So let's look here. The Dow, QQQ. Now the Qs closed red. The Dow closed red. The SPY closed red on the day too. I thought it closed like flat. Well, it did in accordance to prior day's close. The IWM actually closed green, so keep that in mind. The IWM closed flat, kind of green. QQQ. Now, why do you keep this in mind? Like, okay, just because I keep it in mind, I don't know what to do with it. It's in my mind. I don't know what to do. All right. Well, you've already broken on the Qs. On the Qs, you've broken Thursday's close. Look at the Dow. It has not broken Thursday's close. So if the Qs continue to the downside, all right, and you want to look for like an arbitrage type of trade, say, hey, if the Qs are going to continue to be weak, all right, you're going to have Snowflake, CRM earnings. Look for Thursday's close to get, look for the Dow to start pulling back. Because what I'm saying is are the Qs going to continue to, are the Qs going to start leading to the downside? And then the SPY, and then the Dow, and then IWM start following behind. Okay, or do we turn around and the Qs make up the ground? We're going to see. That's why, though. The Qs, all right, because it's important. It's important to know this so you guys can start making decent trades and understand what's going on. The Qs are down there. The SPY actually, I think, was a little bit better, I thought, but that would be the SPY roughly, right? And then the Dow, and then, right, the IWM. Really, the IWM closed kind of flat, so really. So you can see Q, SPY, Dow, IWM. That's the direction. If the direction's to the downside, the Qs are leading. Can it lead to the upside? It absolutely can. But understanding what's in the lead out of just those three. All right, ARK. Man, this live stream is going to be awful. I'm sorry, guys. So ARK actually looks like a trade idea. ARK is literally ARKK. Right at the 50-day moving average. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? All right. 50-day moving average on ARK. I'm going to write this down because I may trade this tomorrow. And please, if you guys could, subscribe, hit that like button. We need a few more subscribers. It would help others find us. That's a break, a bounce back. This is a nice pattern. Kind of. So if we continue to see the Qs pulling back, let's go, baby. Put ARK on it. Again, you got the 20-day. The thing is, what I'm watching, though, is understanding what's below you and what's ahead of you. Or on top of you. You're stuck between the 20 and the 50. Can we break out in a decent, like, in a nice manner to the upside and fill that gap? Or are we going to pull back and pull back down to this gap? All right. Either way, this is a stock that has risk to reward. Yes, it's in the middle. People are like, I don't want to play because it's in the middle. No, motherfucker. Is this going to be a 50-day moving average rejection? Right? This is a beautiful pattern. And technically, this is a bear flag. So really, if we were to measure this just to, quote unquote, all right, and the market futures are pulling back, let's just we could use that 50-day. If we open up, what does that take us? Right to the 200-day moving average. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Oh, with what? Prior resistance, prior support. All right, even if we were to shorten it up a little bit, you have this massive support level. Is this a sign that ARK is headed back to these lows at $45? Watch semiconductors. AMD took back that move. Do we get a pullback on NVIDIA? All right, so this is going to be a setup I want to see. And again, I'm not ruling out the upside either. Here's how we figure this out, right? Remember, you got a few more days until this month closes. Okay, a few more days. When this month closes, look where ARK is. Do we get another test of the 100-day on the monthly chart? Because look at it. Bang. Bounces into it. Bang. Bang. Like, it's just steady selling at the 100-day. All right? Steady selling at the 100. Can we finally break above it this coming days? We're going to find out. All right? So that's the monthly chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. Look at the monthly chart. It's not bad. It's 47. It's up in an uptrend. It's putting in higher lows. Okay. Okay. ARK, can you do something for me? All right. All right. So weekly chart. Now these moving averages, you're trying to make it support. Now it looks a little bit different looking at it on, wanted to make sure I was on the right ticker. It looks like a nice weekly consolidation. Okay. You did test 40. You can see 44.95, 45 level is a key area of support. Do we put in a double bottom? Get a low volume pullback there this week. Okay. I mean, look at that. And look at this volume last week. Very low volume last week. That could be a nice support level that was prior resistance. Okay. And it looks like what? You have buyers down here at 47. Note taken. ARKK. You have buyers at 47. Is that what I said? 47? Yes, 46.90. 47. Support. Okay, let's go to the daily chart. All right. So that would be what, Wednesday's low. So tomorrow I'm wanting to watch and see where's ARK headed. Are we going to be able to get back above that 50-day moving average and get up to 50? All right. Let's go to our hourly chart. I think you have really nice look, and it's below that level there. Sorry, guys. So look here. All right. Look there. You see this level here? I'm going to make this a 2. You broke it Friday afternoon, and you're below it now. You broke it Friday afternoon. There is some support down here. You're going to have a bounce back off of 48. Okay, but the point is if you get an attempt, all right, if we get another attempt, it's all going to come down in my eye, the 50-day moving average, and I think people may be trying to short it. Low, low, there's a low, low. I gotta be honest, guys. I gotta be honest with ARK. This is kind of funny. My watch is blinding me right now. It's pinging me right in the eye. This is actually kind of funny with what ARK is doing, because I'm like, part of me is like, it kind of, I instinctively want to say it's going to go higher. All right, but again, if the SPY and the Qs and the Dow are going to continue to pull back, and the IWM can't get anywhere, and we do start to bring pull things in, then chances are we will get another shot to be long down at like 47. You got a lot of buyers down there. That's a 100-day weekly moving average. Okay, peace. Good to see you, buddy. God, I love it, man. I appreciate you, Peace. You too, man. This week is going to be good. I'm telling you, like, when I have these instinctive feelings, because I'm going to, like, sometimes I fall off track, and I need to kind of regroup and remember that there's a lot of people out there and, like, say, look, risk to reward. What we can't look at everything at all the time, but what's the best probability that this setup is giving us, and more so, what's the risk to reward? All right, the risk to reward on ARK is that 50-day moving average. Me personally, if we get a low volume pullback, I'm thinking about trying to be a buyer if it gives us 48 again and we can hold it. Everything seems to be oversold all the way from, look, the 4-hour daily, right? Look at the 4-hour, oversold. That doesn't mean we got to go higher. It could consolidate, but chances are the setup, and that's what this market does. It treats people like fools because they're like, oh, look, we broke the 50-day. We're coming up into the 50-day. Everybody says we break it. It should turn to resistance. But the point is, on the daily chart, did we break it with an increase in volume? Let's see. Not really. Not really. It was actually a low. It was actually, it's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't consider it crazy because the volume is consistently decreasing. Dude, what just happened? All right, so that's... Wow. I'm sorry, guys. Bang. That would be awesome to put in a double bottom right there. I'm telling you guys, this could be a really nice trade, but we need the markets. We need the markets, right? We need PCE. We need all these things to help us. The GDP. We need news. Some of these earnings. So Roku came out. They didn't do too high. I don't know the holdings. That's something I got to look into. All right, so 47. All right, downside's going to be $47. I think if the markets are pulling back, then I would look to get short the Qs. And my point would be to see if you can put in a double bottom at 47 and then try to grind higher to fill that gap up here. You have a really nice gap fill up here, okay, in that area right there. You have a really nice gap there. All right, so... You broke the 50-day. It was support. You broke it. The volumes pulled back a little bit. So, and this was a nice green day, and it looks like you closed Friday, and you closed and tried to hold for the most part Thursday. So Thursday's close is what I'm going to base my trade off of. All right, on ARKK. All right. And you guys can see. Let me pull this back so we can just get the... Yeah, you can see you have some mild support down here at 48. 48 is going to be the level. I know it's not a major level, right? Because the major level is 45 and 52. That's our range. But if we get a low volume pullback and we hold 48 and we notice, hey, 48 is holding on ARKK. If we start to hold there at 48, then I'm going to look to see if we can hold it. And what's also cool about this trade's going to be easy. Why do I say it's easy? Because depending on where we open up tomorrow, if we bounce into 49, okay, we bounce into 49, that's it, right? You can't get through it. You bounce into it and you can't get through it. 49, right? That's your 50-day. That's your 50-day moving average. So let me put this here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because we have a gap. You have a gap there. So it's like, if you can't get through 49, then chances are I'm getting short at 49. All right, wait. No, that's not really what I wanted. Either way, it'll work. It's a little darker than I wanted it. Sorry for taking so long, everyone, too. I just wanted to see here. Man, that's a solid support level there. Look at back here to the left. Look at support, 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 support. Boom. And all this is just time off the clock. Just consolidate, 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 consolidate. Make one side nervous. Bang. Right? So 48. All right. That's going to be my level. I'm watching the 50-day. All right. Which is up there at 49, obviously. But in my eyes, I think 48. It's going to be 48 and 49. Yeah, give me that one. I like that one better. That tells me the 50-day. All right. So how about this? Let's make it really easy. 48.50. Okay. If we are above 48.50 or if we get above 48.50, I want to see 48.50 hold as support. I want to see it hold as support. And then I want to start trying to break the new highs now. The markets, right? The SPY, the Qs, right? They're trying right now. Like, or not right now. Let's see. They are, like, if they try to test Thursday, Friday's highs, that's going to give us our trade for ARK. All right. So 48.50. Really, I would like to be a buyer at 48. You can see here. The SPY is also trying to hold this level. They're trying to not give it up, right? Run a test. They're going to be like, let's just see. Let's just one more time. Can we get back up there? Can we make, because you never really made 49.25 or 509.25 support. And why do I say that? Because 509 was the support level that you never tested right there. Right here. That's your support level, the opening price. You never made it resistance. So that's why I also think you could have a run up to test or run from 507 to 509.25. Right? You see all that support area right there? You never made it resistance. Never. You didn't get to it. Right? You didn't get to that. I put my cursor on that low. Oh, sorry. Look, you had an indecision candle right here. You had an indecision candle right there, and that still really didn't even do it. Right there. Right there, that indecision candle. But still, you want to see a test and bump into that area, right? Support, opening price, support, support. It pulls back in, support. Oh, we break it. I don't know why that happens. I do, because I still haven't bought a new mouse. So if the SPY bounces, again, we've already talked about this, 509. All right, that's the area we're looking for. All right, and what does that do? Depending on where we open up tomorrow, if we're down a little bit, right, but not so much that we've broken levels, then that should help put ARK where we want it. And that's going to be at that level there at 48 to 48.50. Okay? 48.50, 48. All right? And we know the 50 days up here. Some mod resistance. Right? What I'll also look for is if we're down here and I get long $1, $2, and we get to the 50-day and it's just like struggling, like a day or two or three. Okay, let's go pull it back for that double bottom down back at 47. Okay, because once again, this thing is still technically weak. Okay, so you got to remember that at the end of the day, no matter the RSI MACD. Right, the markets are up. Actually, that's a lie. The markets are up at all-time highs, right? The markets are up here. Why is it not giving me my circle? Sorry, guys. You guys see what I deal with? Look at that, right? ARK should be up here if it was a nice strong stock and was trustworthy. All right. So that's ARK. That's a nice setup there, guys. That's a nice bear flag lining up right with the 50-day moving average. Look for the pullback to 47, double bottom there at 47, possibly get a bounce long, or it breaks it, and then your next level isn't until 45. And what does that give you? That gives you the 100-day moving average. All right? Or we hold 48 and we don't put in a double bottom, okay? Because you're pulling back into... And you know what you could say too? Is like if you bounce into 48.50 and make that resistance, not the 50-day moving average, because you want to be able to get the trade. Why would I say that? Because that was Thursday's close. And you closed below Thursday's close. So keep that in mind. You had a small gap, right? From when you broke the 50. This gap right here. Okay. Right there. That gap. Let me put it right there. Okay. And you can see it came up, filled the gap, and it gapped up below the 50-day right at it to say, hey, can we pull back to Thursday's close, hold it, and try to break up higher through the 50-day? It didn't do it. You got up to the 50-day and then quickly turn back around. All right, so that's ARK. All right, that's going to be my plan. All right, I'm not ruling out a short. I'm not ruling out a long either. Okay, I'm going to be neutral on this trade. I just know my best, like the probability, again, let's go back to the roots. Probability that something does something, and what is the risk to reward to that? Chances are, if I'm still holding and just hanging out up here, join us. Again, we trade live Monday through Friday right here on this channel. Join us. We'll be on tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15, 7:30 tomorrow morning, covering the news, getting our trade ideas for the day. All right, here's what I'm trying to say, all right? If we're just sitting up here and we cannot get through the 50-day, okay, I'm getting short. Is this telling me that we broke Thursday's close? If we cannot get through 48.50, sorry, I'm doing this again, 48.50, Thursday's close, okay, can we get back up through it? Or do we continue to make Thursday's close resistance? All right? So I will be looking to see right there at that area, does it bounce back? And what else was that? That was the midday support level, right? So that's ARK. You just join us. We'll go over it because I'm neutral. All right. If it looks like we're still grinding higher, putting in higher lows, run it. All right. Mega cap. All right. It's important to talk about mega cap. Mega cap made new highs. Now it's pulling back on the lows. Now, Thursday, I talked about a long on Microsoft. All right. Thursday, I talked about a long on Microsoft. I was a little iffy on it. It did what I thought it was going to do, and it was just going to make you sweat, and you had to wait. And if you're in options and you don't have enough time, like you're playing weeklies, it could have been bad for you. All right. Apple, still on its lows. It put in a triple top. Like that 100-day has just been solid resistance. Okay, solid resistance at this 100-day moving average, guys. These charts will be cleaned up tomorrow. I do promise. All right, what I was showing everyone in the past was look what it likes to do. It likes to do these things. All right, and what is that? These pennants. All right, you have a really nice pennant here. Right here, right? Is that where it was? I'm on Apple, right? That's so weird. What's going on here? Yeah, right there. Okay, I thought so. You can see here, you have a nice flag there. There, I know you guys can't really see it. But it looks like it's trying to do the same thing. Okay, right here. I'm sorry. There it is. Right there. You guys see that orange? I'll make it big. That's what she said. Right there. All right. All right. So it looks like we're doing the same thing, and you had that breakdown, right? You can see that pennant there, and then boom, right? That kind of is an ascending wedge. You know, even though it's meeting in the middle, but it's still slanting higher to an extent. It's like, it's not really descending. It's like, ugh. I would consider this more so a descending wedge here on Apple. If you were to just go from here to there, right? Right there, right? And then you have like a flat top, you know, flat bottom support level. But long story short, daily chart, you still can't get above the 50-day moving or the 100-day moving average. What else happened? All right, so again, another stock that I'm like, hey, like longs are going to get tired of this quick, and they're going to want to get out. You get through the 200-day because the 200-day was resistance, right? We got long on this earnings call here. This was a huge trade for us. We were long early in the morning on this pullback and hold. What I want you guys to see here is two things to keep in mind. Look at this trend line, this bottom trend line right there, okay? Huge support level. Look, support, 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 and then what do we have again today? Support, support, support. You did not close below it last week. All right, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. And even the week before that, you got down to it. What happened? You brought in some buyers. You got back above the 200-day. I'm talking about that hangman candle, whatever you want to call it, right there. But then what happened the next day? It sold off again. Bang. Cannot hold the 200-day. All right, we're down at the trend line. So now this stock is telling me, even though the RSI is low, MACD is low, hey, this trend line's holding. Let's go back to the 200-day. It went back to the 200-day, if not the 200, but the 100 at that. And then bang, 185 resistance again. And not only is it that, was it resistance at the 100-day? It broke the 200-day and just like it wasn't even there, just cut it. And it closed at the low of day. Okay, that is weakness. Whether it's low volume, high volume or not, it doesn't matter. It just, you know, those major moving averages, when you slice through them like that, it's telling you something. So, and again, look what happens there. Those buyers are just sitting at this trend line. If the markets start to bounce, can we try it again? Or is Apple going to give it up? The point I'm also bringing up to you, okay, is that trend line, it goes back from the start of 2022, right? That is a mean wedge there. Mean trend line. The reason I don't do a lot of trend lines, I do when I see it holding. All right, and that's clearly holding. All right, you haven't closed below it. You dipped down into it and quickly recovered, and you closed right out at Friday. Apple, down off of its lows, okay? MSFT was a trade idea. It's technically, you could call this up at its highs. It's not too far off, okay? But it's not making new highs like the market, okay? It's not making new highs. It's also not at the highs. It's below the highs. You quickly went and filled the gap. Now you're pulling it back, okay? Google, not at the highs. It's pulled back, okay? Amazon has not made a new high yet. Amazon's a little bit stronger in my eye right now, as weak as it seems because of Jeff Bezos selling shares. Okay, what does this mean? Meta, just a monster, putting in new highs. Okay, putting in new highs, very strong. I had a feeling Meta was just going to separate itself and do its own thing, and it's done that. Netflix. All right, Netflix is just, you know, kind of where Apple and Microsoft and Google are, right? Has not put in a new high yet. You know, it's just off of its highs. Okay, we've been actually very bullish, and actually we were like, you know, we were neutral, but our target is up here at 620. Is you can tell that, like, names like Snowflake, right? With this mega cap tech, like, you can see how we all, like, Apple and Microsoft let us higher, and then they pull back. Google and Amazon together went higher. Apple and Microsoft would then make another extension, and then Amazon and Google would pull back. And then that new high that Apple and Microsoft put in, they pull back, and Amazon and Google go. Okay, Google was able to put in a new high because it has a lot of AI things going for it. That kind of sentiment with AI helped it out, I feel like. Meta making new highs. Netflix on a roll, just ripping. Okay, you got to buy the dips, sell the rips. Okay, it pulls back. What I'm trying to say is like, you got the market carried up with it, right? You started seeing names like what? Shopify, right? Okay, Shopify. It's not up at highs, but it's off of the lows. Coinbase with crypto, off of the lows. Okay. Hood had decent earnings, I think. All right, off of its lows. Snowflake, off of its lows. Okay. You know, this level here too, we're watching like this. We're watching it like a hawk up here at 240. What I'm saying is like this, where the time where we start to just kind of consolidate. If mega cap tech isn't leading us higher, what's starting to go? Are we going to start having energy? XLE. All right, XLE. Where was the high on this thing? Oh wow, yeah, wow, that's crazy. What a huge inverse head and shoulders. Look at that ascending wedge. Uh-oh. Energy might be done, guys. I wonder if that's a sign Donald Trump's going to win. Oh, snap. Look at that. You could always break out higher. It's either a sign Biden's going to win, or it probably doesn't matter about the election, but that weekly chart is a serious setup right there. Look at those wicks right off the 200-day, 20-day moving average. It looks like it's going to try and fail, if you ask me. So, what names are, like, look, Home Depot, right? Walmart, Mega Cap Tech, right? The whole market has moved up. Do we start to either get our pullback, or are we going to consolidate now and start to find our range in this area? So Apple, Walmart, you have to understand, right? Why do those names lead? Why does Apple, Microsoft, right? Why do they lead? Well, and Nvidia. Sorry, I forgot about those names, right? The only one that's lagging is Tesla's just been in the mud. Okay, Tesla's been in the mud. It's because it's an automotive product at the end of the day. They need to start making phones or something that has a tangible value and a nice margin. It's so capital intensive to build cars. Shout out to Lucid, by the way. I will have a video coming on the new Lucid. Damn, I forget what it's called. It's not. Oh man, I forget. Anyway, I wonder because those names lead and lag because not only are they safe, but they're very liquid. And if something happens, they normally do not just fall out of bed as much as like a Snowflake or even a Salesforce or like a Walmart, Target, or Shopify, right? Where if something bad happens, it's down 20, 15%, right? You saw what happened to Rivian. They're liquid, and usually they're the leaders like to the up and downside. So is this Apple weakness, has this been telling us something more with Microsoft that could be coming? All right. Sorry that I went on a whole spiel there. I just want you guys to take notice of what's going on. Mega Cap Tech is off of its highs. The only ones that are up is Nvidia. All right. Amazon is okay. Meta's doing really well, putting in new highs. But for the most part, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, okay, Google, and Amazon, more importantly, those four names. Is this a consolidation to try to make another leg higher? And if we try to make this next leg higher and it fails, is that going to be our downside moment where it's like, okay, let's pull it back, let's bring these valuations down, and we'll start, bring in some buyers and try to start another year and a half, 2-3 year rally, right? Low volatility, stuff like that. This is what I'm keeping my eye on. Is Apple going to break? All right, remember, just because something's oversold does not mean that it has to go higher. It's been and remained oversold for quite some time. When are these buyers going to get exhausted? Okay, so Apple, I'm going to watch the trend line, and right now that trend line is sitting right at Friday's lows. All right, do you try to bounce? What I'm curious to see is if we bounce, Boom, boom, boom. Shit, that sucks because that didn't happen. And you do have a mild head and shoulders here, kind of. All right, the shoulder's pretty clear. I'm sorry it's taking me forever to do this. All right. But, you know, your shoulder's pretty much here around like 180. All right, 180 to 181. 180 to 181. If we try to bounce, right, your 200 days right here at 184, okay, 183.75. All right, you rejected 185 and that 100-day moving average. You could not pull back in and hold the 200. You clearly broke the 200-day with no problem. You closed at the lows. What I would look for on Apple is, do we get a little bounce here? Once again, turn that 200-day into resistance and start to do one of these. And it's just like, uh-oh, what's going on here? All right. Or do you just, do you find buyers? Do the buyers really step back in on, like that, right? Comes in, you hit the 200-day, it fails, and then it just breaks. You break 182.50, you break 181.50, you get back down into 180, and you try to bounce from there, and then do you make that trend line resistance? All right, so we're going to walk it down and we're going to walk it up. If the markets have a little bounce in them, which I think we could, do we get through and hold? Can we clear the 200-day and hold it and make it support? That way, then I'm feeling more comfortable about the long on Apple. So I'm sorry that this has taken us so long. I'm going to change things up and just go quicker and just run through these charts because it's been an hour and 42 minutes. I might end up deleting this video because it's so long. But Apple, I'm watching that trend line down here. Do we bounce and make that 200-day moving average resistance? All right. Or are we just going to hold this level and try to go to the upside of the wedge, which would be back up like, you know, towards, do we test the 50-day, right? Can we get back up to 190 or 195? Is there news coming out? Check the calendar for Apple. Is there something coming up that's going to give us a catalyst to the upside or the downside? All right, so something's brewing here. Oh, also, on top of that, for anybody that's still here, it looks like we're trying to put in an inverse head and shoulders here. Kinda, right? There's your left shoulder, okay? Here's your head right there. And then, are we going to pull back and hold 181, okay, to put in that reverse head and shoulders right there? That was the other thing I was wanting to tell you guys. Okay. So now, right as of now, it's putting in a higher low. It's moving to the top right of the screen, not the bottom right. So I want to let Apple show me what she's going to do. All right, I'm going to let Apple show me what she's going to do. Why did I duplicate that? All right. Oh my God, I did it again. So that's that. That's Apple. I am looking to see if we're going to put in a reverse head and shoulders, guys. All right. I am going to look to see if we're going to do that. As far as levels, all right. First off, you guys know I'm playing that trend line there. I'm playing this trend line. 182.50. Are we under that tomorrow? And do we bounce into it, which is also the trend line, and do we make that resistance? Because that's a 182.50 short down to 180, and then, you know, you could probably get a bounce. I think, though, 181.50. Don't pay attention to that orange line. It's because of whatchamacall, it's off right now. The pre-market and after hours. So that's it. Oh, again, if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are new here. Welcome. Don't be shy. Say hello in the chat. Is it anybody's first time here? I'm just wondering. So inverse head and shoulders here, the furthest, if you know, it's 181.50. If we're below 182.50, I'm still not rolling it out, even if it turns it into resistance. Like, what do I mean by that? If we open up tomorrow, like, let's say tomorrow we open up at like 181.98, we bounce into that level at 182.50, and then we start to pull it back, and we still hold 181.50. We kind of consolidate here throughout the day, right? You starting somewhat put in lower highs towards the end of the day, and then you start getting a bounce into that area. I'm going to look to get long if we hold this level tomorrow. It's not going to be for much, though. You guys got to understand. It's not like this has momentum. But if we do hold this level, what I could do tomorrow at 181.50, if it does show me like we get there and it just sits there for a little bit of time, you want to get some time off the clock. And then shorts will be like, oh, damn. This might be a reverse head and shoulders. Like, everything is weak. As far as the indicators are weak. You know, we may not have much downside. It is going to the upside. It has kind of made a recovery because in the past 4 days, it has not put in a lower low. So therefore, we got to respect what's going on, you know. And obviously, if we are above 182.50, we pull back into 182.50 and look to see if we can break the 200-day, which is the turquoise level at 184, and the 100-day at 185.50, 185.39. All right, so that's my plan with Apple. Can we hold 181.50? Where do we open at? That's the other question. Microsoft. So, Microsoft, I gave this long out, and I said, hey, it's going to be a little tricky. All right, so I traded this. All right, we traded this last week. Now, I want you guys to see something here. This price action is almost equal to Coinbase's price action when we got short and we took the profits on that short because something didn't feel right. We got a massive amount of extension, and then it just stopped. And it was like, for the one reason was because we were just so far below VWAP. We were 2, if not 3 standard deviations below VWAP, and it's like, hey, chances are we're going to get that bounce back, and if we bounce back and I'm in a weekly, all right, if I have time on it, it's different, but if I'm in a weekly and you get that bounce back, yeah, and it's just paid me all this money, I'm getting out, all right? Then it bounces back, look to see VWAP, reject or not. So, look here, Coinbase. All right, so we got short this name and then quickly took our profits. If you notice on this day right here, right there, that day right there, look at that tail. Look at that tail down at 114. We were shooting for 112 for a few reasons. All right, you can see here it just boom, and then it quickly recovered. And not only did it recover, because we were looking for this level, 117 to break, and it did. But it quickly recovered. And look at the close of that 15-minute candle. It's still right up there. It technically hasn't broken it. Technically, right, on a 15-minute chart. And then it just recovers. And look at that right there. That was your sign. When the candles are the same size, and it's just repeating, like the same size, and also closing at the highs. It's not like this candle here where it put in this long tail and it closes at the low of the candle and it's going higher, like the stock's going higher, but you had these long tails, like the candles aren't closing at the highs. This is a very bullish sentiment, and what you have here is a break of a major level and a quick reversal. Okay, and a very quick reversal. You can see it right there, right? And then boom, and what happens? What ensues? A 3-4 day type of rally. All right, now Microsoft kind of did the same thing, okay, but it did it to the downside. So we were watching 412. Okay, I said, guys, I think we can break 412. I'm gonna look for a break of 412, get into that gap. All right, I want to get into the gap and then see what we do. Can we hold the gap? Do we pull back? What happens? Well, what happens is you get these tails here at 412, and then it's holding, right? It's kind of holding around 410, 409.50, and it does it again, right? It goes right back up. Now let me show you. Let me bring it in a little bit here. I'm on a 15-minute chart. See how it goes up to it, and it broke the level. If I pull up a 5-minute chart, and you can see here, it pulls back into that pre-market pivot high, and then it just rallies, right? And it's like, okay, 412. 412 right here is a major level. And what's it do? It puts in a double top right there. The first time it couldn't hold, and then it goes all the way back to it. And I'm like, okay. So as we got that bounce back, I took it off. I said, I want to give Microsoft a little bit. 412 resistance again. And what do you get? You get this huge gap up, right? I said, I think we can fill the gap. Well, it did. It just did it overnight, and you opened up filling the gap. And what gap am I referring to? If you look here on a daily chart on Microsoft, you can see this huge gap right there. All right, right there. You can see all the way down from right here to there. And what happens is it opens above it, and then it just rejects it. All right, and then it just rejects it. That's Microsoft. So I want to see if there's more weakness, all right, out of Microsoft. Now, and I'm getting ready to go into some of the other cooler names like Boeing, Coinbase, because there's something I want you guys to see on Coinbase. This anchored VWAP from the pivot low, it's pulling right in it, and if it makes it support, we could look for a long on Coinbase. All right, in accordance to what Bitcoin's doing. I'm getting fucking tired, and I've only went over a few. So I want to look for a bounce back into 412 on Microsoft. Okay, see if we can bounce into 412 and make that resistance. Okay, bounce into 412, make 412 resistance on Microsoft, because you saw we quickly gapped above it, and then when it sold off, it never tried to make it support and bounce off of it. Didn't even try. Didn't care to try. That's telling you how weak it is. It's very weak. All right, that shit is weak. All right, just like me sitting in a computer chair. I'm getting ready to start exercising now, so that's going to change. So yes, bounce into 412. I want to get short 412, give it some time, and see if we can get into error 404. Why do I say error 404? Usually if you go on the internet and you go to a site and the page isn't there, error, it'll say like 404, it's not found. All right, a code for that, it's not found. All right, 412 resistance. So we're going to look for Microsoft, 412 rejection. All right, that's Microsoft. Coinbase. I want to show you guys something on Coinbase. I also want you to notice, though, guys, on Microsoft on the daily chart, 408. Okay, you have the 20-day moving average at 408, but I think if you get a pivot high, remember how on the indexes, like the SPY and the Qs, I said, let's see if we get a bounce higher to reject the level. What would that do for Microsoft? That would give us the bounce and a possible rejection at 412. That's how we, coincide the overall markets with what it is that we're trading that day in accordance to what the data is telling us and what earnings we have. Chances are, if Monday's not going to do anything, or if we have data Tuesday or Wednesday, chances are we just hang out down here, like Monday we do, like you come in with a small gap up and it pulls back to 407.97. You come in with another little gap up, maybe it goes up above and into the level at 412. And then we figure out, hey, is this going to be resistance or do we have some more downside coming? You have a gap below you too, by the way. There's a big gap right there. So you filled the one above you. And I want to see if we can start to break 408, 407.75. Okay, the 20-day moving average sitting right there. Meta. I have more. I have so many more. We might have to just cover them tomorrow morning, guys. I want to thank you all for everything, for the likes, all that fun stuff. Meta, just a monster. Okay, it's just a monster. I want to see, since we did not close and hang on to, which I'm not going to dwell on it, but Thursday's close was pretty nice, right? It put in a new high and it closed at the highs. Now you have this wick up here. It's just like it tried to keep that momentum going and it just couldn't. So does it consolidate a little bit? And then do we see the 9 EMA, that yellow line right here? Do we see it pull itself up there at 479 on Meta? All right, and does it try to hold it as support? Right there. That's the level I'm looking for. All right. Heavy rejection up here at 487.50. 487.50. All right. Starting to get a little late here. We'll keep it running. We covered some of the earnings that you have, that we all have, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. So that's Meta. I didn't talk about Amazon, but I can get into that later. I want to show you guys real quick because I'm going to get out of here. Coinbase. So, I want to see. So if you guys look here, let's go to this chart here. All right, let's go to Coinbase. Look at that anchored VWAP from the previous low. All right, that's the day that we made that quick reversal, and I was just talking to you about Coinbase, how I made that quick reversal and went higher. Microsoft, I feel like, it's doing the opposite, and look at the continuation that it gave you. All right, and if we go back, I know we're off of it right now, but look at look how Microsoft ended up giving you those candles where they were about the same size, right? Let's go to like a 5-minute chart. Right, you can see that these candles, right? Boom, boom, consolidate, bang, bang. Hits the level, boom, boom. Hits the level, boom, boom, boom. Bear flag here, nope, it's holding. Right there is where you should have exited the trade. Actually, it all depends. But I would say for me to be out of this trade, we've cleared up above the 9 EMA. You know, and started to make it support. But you can see these candles down here, just, you know, just total weakness. So I want to see if, you know, you get more downside on Microsoft, but Coinbase, you're right at that anchored VWAP. All right, look here. All right, look at that. This blue line is your anchored VWAP. I think that's either that's 2 standard deviations above and below. So I'm not worried about that. But that right there, that blue line, it lines right up with what? 160. And I've been saying this. Look at the volume. The volume's dried up. So, and I'm getting tired, guys. I might get out of here. So 160 on Coinbase. All right. Yeah. Anchored VWAP from the lows, 160. I'm going to look to see if we can get that support. And what else do we have? Let's go to the daily chart. Do we have anything else? All right. Do we have anything else? Let's see here. You have your 90 EMA, your 50-day moving average is down at like 148.20, 148 to 150. So let's see if we can hold 160. All right, see if we can just get a nice little bounce higher and try to push either depending on what Bitcoin does. Do we make a new high, or do we just put in a rally that gets faded and sold? All right, that's Coinbase. There's so many I want to look at, guys. Boeing's another one on my list. It's putting in a really nice bear flag here. All right, it's putting in a really nice bear flag. you can see here. You can see that right there. That bear flag. I was wondering what they were talking about on Bloomberg. Oh no. What did I do? Shit. Alright guys, that's about all I got there because I'm getting a little bit tired. But that's Boeing. It's got this bear flag here. I hope I didn't just mess my stuff up by doing that. See, that sucks. That sucks, man. Alright, so Boeing is just steady holding 199.75, 200. Alright, 170. I'm sorry, what is that? 199.50 to 200. You put in a really nice tail there. So you can see on a daily chart here, look at the continuation for that 9 EMA. Depending on if we come in with a gap down, depending on where we open up, think it might be safe to say, hey, that's, you might want to look for a bounce. Let's see here. Yeah, this level 200. And what do you got behind you? Let's see here. Just want to make sure. So Boeing's a little tricky. You could honestly just watch the Dow. But I think she's a bit overdone. I want to see if we can actually bounce on Boeing. They're not going to make it easy. I'll tell you that right now. They're not going to make it easy to the downside or upside. I do want to see us try to get back to 202. Like I went short. It was either Thursday or Friday. It may have been Friday. I can't remember. Might have been Monday. I might have traded Boeing Monday. Long story short, though, it's putting in a bear flag there. All right. It's not really moving. So why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of the names I have is short. This thing's on its lowest. If the market does, for some reason, pull back, maybe you finally get what you need to break that level. Right, that level of 200, 199.75. If you get a bounce back to 202, yeah, 202.50. See if you make that resistance, that prior support. You did have some nice volume Friday, but the volume isn't that crazy. It's not like, oh my God, it's got double RVOL. It's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times RVOL. All right. So Boeing. Obviously the downside target would be 190, but I need this thing to bounce. I need it to bounce. Let's get up into 206, make that resistance. We'll watch it, okay? We'll watch it as it goes. I know I have more here. I had a lot more, I thought. I mean, I know I did. I had it all. Oh, did I give you guys Morgan Stanley? All right, so we were watching Goldman Sachs with the Dow, JP Morgan, so we've been watching the banks. You can see Morgan Stanley did close green. It extended off of that huge bear flag. Not bear flag, but bull flag. Shit, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just a little tired. So, oh, fuck. I went over Coinbase. What's going on here, guys? I apologize. I'm sorry. So, yeah, JP Morgan. She's just been ripping and roaring. I do want to see if we can start to get a pullback in JP Morgan. It did put in a really nice bull flag. It was like Thursday or Tuesday. It was just beautiful. Oh, yeah, it was right there. Dude. So JP Morgan put in this bull flag Thursday, right? Right here. You guys can see. Right, that is a bull pattern like no other, right there. Well, and what you got was pretty much a failed breakout. think though, because yeah, I traded this on a different time frame. All right, J.P. Morgan. So earning again. I'm getting tired, so I do apologize. Oh, was there Oxy? Let me just cover that one. I'm getting tired, guys. I do apologize here. Um, I do want to thank you guys for joining. If you could, we need a few more subscribers. If you guys could take the time, hit the subscribe button and the like button, but more importantly, subscribe. We need a few more subscribers. It would help others find us, and we trade live right here Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. Guys, we've been killing it and crushing it. Oxy Petroleum, I think you have a few energy names reporting. I'd have to go back and pull it up to look. We can talk about all that stuff tomorrow along with the news. You can watch, oh, see, we have Baidu, Salesforce, CRM, Snowflake. We've been watching all these names. Watch energy to see if it has a pullback and if that pullback is buyable. Okay? Because here's the thing, too, is you got to be in the right name to know, like, if you're good. Like, you can see Exxon's put in a new high. Okay? Exxon's put in a new high, but look at Oxy. It has not put in a new high. The high is way to the left of you. But is this a huge bull flag? Because if it is, look at that. Damn. And I think that's just about at your all-time high. Yeah, so that's that. Exxon, be cautious on what names you are trading. Okay. We can go over AMD and NVIDIA and we'll call it a night. And we'll just wrap it up and come back in the morning. You kind of have a reverse head and shoulders here. Oxy or XOM, Exxon. You're fighting with the 200 day. Let me just put this in here because I see it now. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Yeah, let's see if Exxon, and Chris brought this up. Let's see if we can get along on Exxon. All right, but you have the 100 and 200 day moving average right in your way. Right now, we're making it support. Where you're trying to make that. What's going on here? Everything just seems like it's not working for some reason, guys. Sorry about that. And sorry that this thing was so long. So you had a nice tail there. Let's see if somebody, and what else would this help, right? If energy names start to catch a bid, that would put some pressure on equities, like the SPY, technology. All right. Exxon, I want to see us hold that 100. I want to see that level at 105 break and hold. Because now you're getting the 200-day moving average to meet you right there. All right, the 200-day moving average is going to be meeting you right there at 105. And now this stock is stuck between the 200 and 100-day moving average. One of these days, one of them is going to give up. And it'll give you that nice follow-through momentum trade that we're looking for. Okay? 100-day, 200-day, and then also on top of it, the level at 105. So that's Exxon. I know I had a bunch more. Oh, MSOS. All right, MSOS. Presidential elections coming up. Okay, what do they always talk about? They always talk about Ziganje. All right, and talking about legalization. So, we've already been seeing some bids come in, and look at the rally off of that. I feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to get like some leap calls just in case. You can see they've already bought this pullback. Look at the buying that's coming in. Wow. They are trying to get ahead of this move. Look at that, guys. Oh, you did also have news, I think, from one of the banks that they're going to, I guess, I don't know how that would be as far as raising money. But there was an article, if I can take you guys to so let's go to right there. All right, so First Citizens Bank, the 13th largest bank in the United States, is entering the cannabis market. The bank has assets of 225 billion. All right. That's about all I got, guys. Roku got Tesla. I want to watch again MSOS. I'm looking for leap calls on pullbacks. If we'll talk more about those, but I want that to be a long trade. Let's see here. Tesla's, it's 195. 196 to 194. Sorry. You guys gotta understand I'm getting really tired. I got like hardly no sleep last night. And I gotta be up bright and early. Alright, so 195. You guys can see here. What is that? 192.50? 192. Did it close above or below that? Yeah, so 192.50 broke. 192 broke. I would be careful because you don't have much to like hold you up. So I don't know, guys. I'm really tired. I got to get up out of here, man. I'm falling asleep on the stream. Look for a bounce back on Tesla to in the 192. If you reject 192, where that major support level was throughout last week, this zone in here, okay, this is the zone I'm going to be looking for. I mean, I could. Yeah, right there. All right, that level right there. 191.50, 192. Again, I'm sorry that I'm getting tired, but if it does break, if it breaks, you got room down to 184, 185. Let's see here. That's Tesla. I'll just keep my eye on Tesla. It feels like it failed to break out. So what is that going to mean as you get a few more weeks under your belt and more time? Are they going to fix it, attempt to go higher, or are we just going to continue to stay down here and just consolidate? You had a nice inverse head and shoulders there that didn't equivalent to anything just yet. I really wish I seen 192.50 or 192 hold and not leave. Right, but it said bye. I gotta go. So, but it's okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's that for Tesla. So resistance is up at 198. Watching 192. All right, AMD also kind of did that same, breakout and above 180, quickly came back in to reject. So I want to see if we can get a support level here off of 175. Or what is that? Yeah, at 175. Look for, I'd say, well, obviously I want to look for a bounce back into 180. So if you can get somewhat of a bounce into 177.50, which you did right there at VWAP. Sorry. I'm getting out of here, guys. This is going to be too much. I'm dog tired. I'm going to get some sleep because we got to be back on here early in the morning and execute this week, guys. Execute. Keep your names. Again, I'm going to look for a bounce in the 180. If not, like this area right here, guys. Okay, on AMD. I'll go back in more on this tomorrow. See if we can get a bounce into like 178. and look to reject that level, or 180. You guys have a great night. We need a few more subscribers. I'm sorry I'm getting exhausted. It's very late where I'm at. We'll get a few hours of sleep. We'll come back in the morning. Guys, this week is going to be awesome. There's a lot going on. There's opportunity all over the place, right? Palantir, PLTR. Okay, it's trying to consolidate or pull back. Okay, it's holding up okay right now compared to a lot of other stuff from last week in the market, right? We know AMD got lifted off of Nvidia earnings. You have Nvidia here. Watch Bitcoin, right? You have Bitcoin, and look at Nvidia. See if Nvidia does in fact hold. I don't know. Yeah, pullbacks to 780 on Nvidia. I know I had a lot going on here, and Roku had earnings last week. Look at that! Wow. And it didn't even bounce there. It just turned it into resistance right now. At $65. Wow. Look at that level there. And turned it into a rejection. Roku. Looks like Roku wants 55. Just be careful. This thing's already gotten demolished, and it could just have a nice bounce reversal for no reason. For no reason. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so Roku, anything above 65 and holds, we hold 65, then you look for that bounce back into 74. All right, 65 to 74, 75. All right. That area right there to the upside, you're well below the 200-day moving average. Now to the downside, I think I gave it to you with 64, right? Or no, that was... I don't know. It's getting ugly. I gotta wrap it up, guys. I'm falling asleep. I need to go get some shut eye and get prepared for the morning. Downside 55. Oh, you have a gap here. Let's not forget the gap. Shit, I just saw something. I forgot what it was. Oh, this gap here. Okay, you got a gap fill right here on Roku. Guys, again, I apologize. It's very late where I'm at. There's the gap right there. And you can see you're at the bottom end of that gap. See if you get a little pullback. See if you can't get some support at $60.50. We looked at ARK. That's a nice setup. You know, I don't really have anything else. If there's anybody new here, if you guys have any questions, let me know real quick before I go. Or if you have any tickers you want me to cover and look at. We are still looking at Snowflake. They have earnings coming up. All right, we're looking at Salesforce, all these names that have earnings. We were watching Goldman Sachs. It's in a consolidation, but look at those tails. All right, we've been watching Goldman Sachs. Right? Why do I look at Goldman Sachs? Because of the Dow. And I showed you guys Morgan Stanley also, right? Not GS, but MS. MS13. Okay, well, it looks like it's putting in an ascending wedge. Alright, so it broke out. It's trying to hold. Morgan Stanley, see if we can get this thing up to the 50-day moving average. Alright, you do have a little bit of weakness. Tail, 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 right? I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'll, I'll sit here for one more minute or two. Please, we need a few likes. We need a few subscribers. If you're able to subscribe, you're gonna help someone else find the stream. We trade live right here on this channel. I'm sorry that this one was a little bit drawn out. Um, you know, if I didn't say it real quick while I remember, I'm looking for the 50-day moving average on Morgan Stanley. But I think you could get a failed breakdown on this name too. Let's see. I forgot. Oh, I was still on Morgan Stanley. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here. Morgan Stanley bounced at a 50-day, like I said. 50-day moving average. Goldman Sachs. Let's see if you're starting to get a break back down into... Morgan Stanley has the same thing. You have the 50-day moving average sitting right there. Alright, that 50-day moving average is sitting at... There are so many more names that I wanted to trade and look at. But again, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Go with the best setups. That's why we do these Sunday night charts. I would have came on earlier. I was just busy. I had things I had to do. So, yeah. Alright, failed possible rejection there. If you do try to break out to like 392.50 or so, look for a pullback into the 50-day moving average. Yeah. Shit. Sorry, I was just trying to move this over here. Bang. Alright. You got some nice volume there. Let's see here. Goldman Sachs. Did we pull back and get back into the 50-day? Or do we still hold at 388? Alright. That's about all I have, guys. Keep an eye out on TLT and the VIX. If the market does try to bounce, just like test Friday or Thursday's highs and Friday's highs or whatever, see if the VIX is if the VIX is bouncing with the market. Like if the VIX starts to go higher, which is VIX for anybody that's new, it's a volatility measurement of put contracts and pretty much a hedge against, a pullback in the markets. You do have PCE and GDP is why they're probably looking to, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying. I was falling asleep again. But anyway, yes, the VIX pulling back into those highs, right? And the VIX starts to creep higher. That's letting you know. It's like, hey, watch out because the VIX is climbing too. It's not a good sign. A couple Mondays ago, we did sell off really hard. So let's see if we come in with a down Monday, and if we start to come in with a down Monday, or if Monday we do have a nice down day, see if that kind of carries on to the rest of the week as far as that. Anyway, I'm sorry guys. I do apologize. I'm exhausted. Okay. TLT's been pulling back. That's usually a sign that the markets tend to follow. Doesn't always have to happen, right? It's all in different regimes and market types, right? There's market types where if TLT's going down, the banks are going higher. If TLT bounces, they go higher. They as in the Qs and the SPY and stuff. So again, I apologize. I'm exhausted. You're coming into the 20-day on TLT. Look for that 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average. The VIX is pulling back. So you can see how many people got sucked in trying to think, oh, it's time, and it never was. You guys have a great night. I love each and every single one of you. Can you see it in my eyes? I'm tired. I love you guys. Have a great night. We're going to have a great week this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning bright and early. Thank you for bearing with me, staying up late. Leave me some comments down in the comment section below. And if you're new, welcome. Come join us. We trade live Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till the bell closes. Um, it's going to be a great week. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.